So, how many of you have ever gotten into romance novels? Tell the truth. For many people, it was their first introduction into relationships, only to find that real life is not that exciting. So we go back to the romance novel. Our next guest has written nearly 40 of them, including her latest historical romance novel, The Duke Goes Down, which came out yesterday. Here with all the steamy details is novelist Sophie Jordan. Good morning, Sophie.
Morning. How are you?
Good. All right. So you grew up in the hill country, Bernie, Texas. Wasn't a whole lot to do. When it came to romance novels, though, you would always dream of kind of about, dragons, warriors, and princesses at the age of 8.
I started early.
Yeah, yeah. So that was your
Yeah.
imagination. And of course, when you have an imagination like that, it sets the groundwork for a great writer. You started writing at about the age of 14, 15. Your parents were proud, like any parent would be, that their child's writing outside of a homework assignment, right? But you say they were also concerned. What were they concerned about?
I think my memory is when I was entering college, my dad said, "So, what do you think you want to do for a living?" And I said, "I think I want to be a writer." And he paused and then he said, "So, what do you think you want to do for a living?"
Oh, yeah,
I
backup med school. How about that, right? Um,
Yeah. I think he was just, yeah, what's going to be that backup thing? Saying you want to be a writer is like saying you want to be any kind of, yeah, it's an artist, right? You're saying, I want to be a musician or an actor. I think your parent immediately is concerned that you're going to be able to support yourself.
Yeah, well, you majored in English because it was the closest thing to what you loved, and of course, writing. You became a high school English teacher in the Sci-Fair ISD. You wanted to connect kids to books, not necessarily to romance novels, but what is the importance of connecting kids to books, and what did that do for you?
I think books, writing, fiction, anything you read, it teaches empathy. It shows relationships. It shows how people react in situations that hopefully, we may never find ourselves in those conflict ridden situations. But yeah, I think I was able to, I taught Antigone and Julius Caesar. I taught sophomore English. And I was able, or, my goal was to talk about Shakespeare and Antigone and then connect it to, what is popular today in commercial fiction and
Yeah.
in our lives.
And along the way, whenever anyone has a goal, there are little signs that come our way that say, keep going, you'll get there. You won an award in college for writing. That gave you a little steam.
It did. I was probably my last year at Texas A&M, and there was a writing competition for undergrad and graduate, and I actually fiction writing contest, and I just entered something and I won it. And there was a ceremony and my dad came, and I remember him looking at me and pausing and said, "Don't quit on this. Keep going with this." And I was about 27 when I landed an agent. So
Yeah.
with my first manuscript, so I kept going.
It's interesting. So many of us, we want to start at the end. So we want to enjoy the success and forget about the sacrifice and the journey. It didn't just happen overnight for you. For years, you were sending manuscripts to agents.
Right. Um, I spent about 2 years. I took off. I had my first child. My daughter was born. I took off 2 years. I had this window of opportunity. I was eventually going to go back to the classroom and teach, but I thought, here, I have 2 to 3 years to see if this dream can become a reality. I sent query letters to agents, maybe up to 10 query letters to agents a month. I just kept a revolving door of query letters, sending my manuscript out. And then right before I was probably going to go back to the classroom, I was on a Sunday, I decided to call my former principal and talk about returning to the classroom. And that Monday, I got a call from an agent. And then in 2 weeks, she sold me to HarperCollins. So
Wow.
it was a lot of work, but it also felt fated. Yeah.
Yeah, Once Upon a Wedding Night. There it is right there, that book cover. Your new series, The Duke Goes Down. Let's take a look at that cover as well. I love the whole romance novel covers. I remember years ago interviewing Fabio, who had been a model for romance covers. So tell us what goes into that. Like, who are these people?
These are models. uh, I am allowed. They usually send me like choices of models that kind of fit into my character descriptions, and I'm allowed to choose the models, so that's fun. And they have a cover shoot, and I give them pose suggestions. something maybe that happens in the book or fits with the book or the title.
Yeah.
And
Or you see the
that's fun.
tension there. I love when you see that tension. When I would read romance novels, I would be reading and then I'd flip the cover over again and take a look so I can go, okay, this is what they're doing here. Okay, so the Duke goes.
I would always look back.
Yeah, oh yeah, I keep going. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, look at him, look at her. All right, the Duke goes down. What's the basic plot of this one? And is this going to be a series?
Yes, this is book one in a new series, my new series, The Duke Hunt. I just wrapped up a 7-book series, so I'm really excited about starting a new series. The Duke goes down. It's a little double entendre there. We have a Duke that has found out that he is illegitimate, so he's lost everything. I love writing an underdog, and he, someone who had everything. He had wealth, a title, rank, esteem, and he's lost it all at the beginning of the book. He's basically like, I better find an heiress, hopefully somebody will marry me. Because now I'm no longer a Duke, and I have no money, and I have no lands. So, but of course it's a little bit of an enemies to lovers story. My heroine is a lady vicar. She grew up with him. They're sort of childhood nemesis, and she is concerned and looking out to protect the women in her community.
And that's a great point with you. What you write you write the past with substance, but you have these heroines who are not necessarily the damsel in distress. I know whenever I used to read those romance novels in grade school, it was always this damsel in distress, and I'd be like, "Come on, get up and fight, lady!" But you write differently, but you also have true historical facts in your things as well. Let me wrap up with this. Why do we love it so much? Because when we get into it and then I read the last page, I'm always sad. I'll put it away, and sometimes I would go back and read it all over again.
I think we read it. It's comfort, it's escapism, but it's also, romance novels promise a happily ever after, and that's not something guaranteed in this world. So we read it for inspiration and for hope. Especially coming out of the last 18 months. Romance, not everyone could hop on a plane and go anywhere or take trips, but they could always pick up a romance novel and take a journey and know that it's going to end in a positive way.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of books can do for us. Sophie, thank you so much, and congratulations to all your success. Speaking of going around the world, you have traveled around the world talking about your books and talking about the genre, but thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you.